Hello, I'm GloryHoundd, and today we're kicking off Kickstarters with
Dr. GloryHoundd.
And just Spindler.
And today we're going to talk about Wreck Raiders. So Wreck Raiders is on Kickstarter right now. It is funded, so if you did want to get this game, it's going to go through. It's for 10 plus, 2 to 5 players, and 45 minutes worth of gameplay.
And it's relatively low price point too, wasn't it? Like under 40 or right around there?
It was $30.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I thought was very, like, for what you're actually getting in the game and stuff. I was like, oh, this is extremely reasonable for $30.
Because you're getting tiles, pieces, and dice. Like you're getting meeples, tiles, and dice.
Okay, so what's wrong?
I was going to say, including the meeples dice cards, you're also going to get the shark expansion.
I
and
know,
all
right?
Included stretch goals.
Okay, so first off, thank you very much, KTBG. So it's Kid Table Board Gaming, for not giving us a million different things for expansions and add-ons and all this other stuff. That's like super exciting for me.
That's cool, mini or not
because
steal.
it's like $30. I can get this game, and I don't have to worry about anything else. And going back and looking at the Kickstarter 5 million times, I'm going, oh my god, what am I gonna get? I don't know. But in this particular
That's your normal
game,
voice.
that's right. This is my radio voice right here. But
so looking
the squeaky voice is
this
different.
This is the best she can get.
Well, let's talk about how the game plays
a
little bit. Okay, so you have your box bottom, which I like. It was the box bottom, and it's all done in like this little reefy sort of setup where you're under the ocean and stuff, and you roll your dice
in there.
In the box, yeah.
It's actually important to roll it in the box.
Well, I really like whenever companies do that. Whenever they they make you use everything there, like an ice cool.
It's integrated. Like you have to use the top of the box because if one of the dice lands near one of the spots, the special spots, the dice has an extra special bonus.
It's called the tide pool.
The tide pool. Yeah, it's very cute. I really liked the box top idea.
So you can roll it, and if one of the dice is close to one of the special squares, you move the dice in there. And then you're going to get a bonus when you use that dice. So say it's a 5, and you do the 5 action somewhere else on the board, on multiple boards, then you also get maybe a bonus treasure too.
Well, and then from the dice pool, you pick out a dice, and then you're going to be placing your worker in locations of that dice. And then the spot that you place your worker is relative to the other players. So different actions are going to happen with the different players that are there on the board.
There's a lot of interaction because if other players are there, they get a bonus.
Yeah.
And you can
so
also
it might be
bump
beneficial to try to be in
players.
the middle or on the outside or maybe way far away from everybody.
You can dive down, kick them off of a treasure spot, and kick them back out to the beach.
Oh, wow, yeah.
That you can remove another
Lots of player interaction
what's
there.
What's the theming for the game?
Underwater.
Yeah. The ocean.
Oceany.
Right, but what are you doing
salty.
under the oceany water?
Collecting treasures mostly, I would say. It's like your treasure hunting.
Yeah, you're doing set collection, and then you're building your little fish tank and stuff like that.
So I would say you're a scuba diver, right? That's looking for treasure, and then on the side picking up a few lionfish, throwing them in your aquarium.
Super.
That's right.
Side piece.
Not only are you treasure hunting, you're also just
grabbing rare exotic animals
and bringing them home. That's right, to look at for the rest of their life, their small
Sid,
life.
my squid.
Yeah. Well, I thought this was an incredibly interesting game.
It seemed super easy at first.
Yeah,
almost.
But once I started going over all the different interactions and stuff, I was like, oh, this could actually be pretty complex as you're going along.
Right, because there's multiple things. Because you're trying to get treasures, right? While other people can move you on their turns, you're trying to vault some of those treasures. You're trying to turn in some of those treasures for a set collection, and you're also trying to pick up other things like. There's also other additional bonuses you can get. There's beach. There's down by the different treasure spots. And then you're also building up, like I said, the aquarium on the side. You're just randomly picking up side fish and throwing them in.
Side fish?
An aquarium. And if you've got a fancy aquarium, you get points that way too. So you're trying to have just like other games we've talked about, it's got multiple things that you need to kind of touch upon.
Multiple facets that you're trying to influence.
You want to influence all of them and then probably specialize in one or two of them in order to win.
Definitely. And on top of that, the art is incredibly cute in this game.
The art is just adorable.
So cute. Yeah.
It's super adorable.
If you're into
I love
squids.
the little aquarium that they're doing where you have
fish.
to build your tiny cute little aquarium and all
if
your
you are
little
allergic to
fishes.
fish,
So
this is
cute.
not the game for you.
Well,
is it though?
I think the tiles are made out of fish.
Well, it's better than the tiles being made out of cardboard for some people.
It's true.
Well, okay, so last week's Kickstarters were underwhelming. And I feel like they were a little underwhelming.
Not the gravity one.
Gravity
That one
Warfare was
sweet.
cool, but
the one where it's the teeter.
again,
Yeah, I like
that
that
was a
one.
dexterity game, and
It's more of a it's a come check me out game.
this looks like it's a kids
You're
game.
peacocking for the ladies.
This looks like it's kids game if you're just looking at it. You're like, oh, okay, it's cute, it's fish and stuff. But once you start looking at the mechanics and stuff, I'm like, oh, this might be like a hidden gem that I really like playing with my kid.
So just in case you've never heard of Kids Table board gaming, they have 4 projects that they've put out through Kickstarter.
I know.
Food
I remember
Fighters.
the ants one.
Yeah, Problem Picnic was
Yeah,
was the
that
one
one was really cute too. We talked about that one.
And then Haunt the House.
Yeah, I don't
So-
think I did Haunt the House.
I have not yet played
So
Haunt the House.
they've
Yeah.
successfully done. Kickstarter
Yes,
in the
they
past.
So
have.
they clearly know what they're doing because every
That's
time
good.
one of these games
Which
comes
is
out,
super important because you don't want to back a Kickstarter where they've not done this process before and then it gets delayed like 3 years and you're like, thanks, I would like my game now. So they've clearly run the gauntlet before, and it looks like every
And that's-
game is getting better.
right, and that's evident of like they know what they're doing, so their stuff's not going to be underwhelming.
Right,
for sure.
right. And I mean, I can't say it enough. I really like them using the bottom of the box. That's fantastic.
Off the top of the dome piece, I can think of 2 other games that have done that.
Yeah.
Rattle Battle, Grab the Loot, did that to some underwhelming success there. But then Strikers,
Did that also?
it kind of uses like a little stadium style insert as well,
Okay.
but you're just throwing dice.
Because there's some like some of the gambling games will have like really nice artwork inside the box. Where
But
you're
they're
like, I
not-
don't even,
but it's not specific
functional.
to the game. Yeah, it's not functional.
Well, I mean,
It's just more of
It's
a.
it's pretty.
Tiny
Pretty.
Epic Galaxies is technically a dice tray.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah.
But this one-
But there's no
gives-
mechanical function.
Yeah, exactly. This one gives you a little bit more influence
one
than
you
it just being the dice tray.
You couldn't just throw this one in plastic bags and then into a bit box. You have to have the box for this one.
You do.
Also,
Or at
another
least cut
game
that top out.
another Kickstarter game that done that, that has done
That
that,
done
is
did that.
that done did that did done
Got
the
did.
back that got did it, is the Illimat,
Uh-huh.
which was a game that was published by
Not
Together Studios, I think it was, but they did it in partnership with the Decemberists. So instead of the inside of the box, it's actually the bottom half of the box is
Okay.
a plinth where you put some tokens and then
Yeah.
you rotate it to change the seasons of the.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's really, really fun. But there's definitely design space there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I love that.
If you got to have a box anyways, you might as well incorporate it.
Yeah.
right?
Because so many
You know?
games like Gloomhaven and stuff that like once you undo everything, the box overfills.
Once you undress
You
the box,
can't-
it's
right.
like, meh.
You can't get everything
Meh.
into the box. So I like it when they make the box part of the game.
Yeah, that's very cute. As far as this game goes, I mean, I'm going to do a yay or a nay on this. Because I feel like it has enough stuff there for kids and adults to play. As well as it's just, it seems like a pretty spot on game.
Price
Seems
point's pretty
cool.
cheap too. It seems only
Yeah,
$30.
it's like $30. So
And with the Kickstarter,
and that was
they're
with
upgrading
shipping
a lot
and
of the
everything.
pieces, too.
So
you're
That's-
not just getting a regular
Yeah.
meeple, you're going to get a scuba diver meeple. And instead of just getting a
Yeah.
skull on a little circular tile, it's,
it's
gonna be
actually
cut out.
kind of interesting because I
to
feel
look
like
more like a
$30
skull.
is almost kind of low. It's perfect for the game. It makes me want to get it more because it's $30.
The $30 does not include shipping.
It does not include.
It
I
does
thought
not.
it did.
So
I thought
it's
it did. Or shipping in the U.S. No, because it's a Canadian.
right. So it's
One, right?
it's $30 US, which whatever the conversion is for that
Usually
in-
I check
in
that.
CAD.
No, it's not 30 Canadian dollars.
No.
'cause
I saw whatever
yeah,
that is.
Yeah, so that's
30
U.S. 30
US.
U.S.
But shipping outside of Canada is going to start at $10.
Okay.
So you're looking at about
well, that makes
$40.
more sense then.
But the $40 is going to be the retail price anyway.
Yeah.
But
you get it
this,
early
you get the
and you get a
expansion
little
and
expansion.
And the
Upgraded
expansion.
pieces.
Yeah.
That'll be big.
Yeah.
I don't
So is
think
that
it had a
pretty?
ton of
Well,
other
it-
Kickstarter things in there, though, did it?
So they're doing something that I
That's
enjoy,
fine.
which is the Kickstarter money, the stretch goals and stuff are going to increase component quality.
Yeah.
As
I like
opposed
that.
to just increased content, which
Yeah.
rarely works well. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
Well, yeah, because sometimes they add too much content and then the game gets out of balance because of that, you know?
Now, I wonder if that component quality upgrade is also going to extend to the retail version.
I don't know. Probably not. We've seen
you
that
think?
before.
That would be a good question.
We've seen that in other games where it'll be
Yeah, where
for
you only
just
get certain
Kickstarter.
tokens and stuff like that
So,
through Kickstarter and then they
Arcade
don't
Quest.
carry over.
We kickstarted Arcade Quest and we got a bunch of the upgraded components, right, which was
Mm-hmm.
great. And then what they did is a year or two later they started selling that
They
as
offered
added
that as,
additional
if
add-on
you
stuff.
wanted coins, you can pay, $25 or whatever it is for coins. And so you could upgrade it several years later, but
it
if
was
you would have just
several
gotten the
years later.
Kickstarter, you would have just paid like the one price for it, gotten all the extra minis,
Right.
gotten all that stuff. But I mean, we all know that Cool Mini or Not like does create like you should be
Masters.
backing Cool Mini or Not Kickstarters every time.
Should you though?
You should be, because
If
like
you can afford it, yes.
because you
That's
get
the
so
problem.
much extra stuff from Cool Mini or Not, like why not?
Yeah.
Like the base game of Arcadia Quest is like, I don't know, the heroes, you get like 7 heroes or something, as opposed to if you did the Kickstarter where you get like, I don't know, 25 more heroes. Like it becomes ridiculous to not back that. But there
It
are
made me
very
wanna stop
few
painting.
there that's
So
true
many
story.
figures,
That's true story.
I look at it, I
But
go, what have I done?
there's very few game companies that are like that, where you look at the Kickstarter and you're like, oh my god, they're offering so
Right.
much stuff.
Some
like
of the Kickstarter pledge goals are just, so you're going to actually make this game box good. Yay for
Yeah.
you. Like, you should have done that in the first place.
So Dinosaur Island
Some of them.
is doing the get in on the ground floor thing. Like
Yeah.
all of their expansions and stuff that they're including, which are just for the exclusive backed game. And as far as I know, they're not going to be available after the campaign.
Even if they do,
Well,
if
that
they
would
do it
be
a couple years
interesting.
later, it makes a big difference.
it does make a difference. It does. You know?
So you'll get sharks with this one. The shark expansion.
The little shark expansion. Well, and I like whenever they offer the expansion with the game, like, okay, we made it this goal, you get the expansion with it, as opposed to, all right, we made it this goal, we're going to make the expansion available for $10 more.
Right.
And then I'm like,
'Cause there's been a
what's
few games
happening
like that where they're
here?
like, here's the expansion. Like, is an expansion?
Of
or
course,
it's just
I
cut
want the
content?
expansion.
See,
Like,
that was actually going to be my follow up question. There is like, is that kind of like a detractor?
For me, it is. So coming from video games, that's always the talk about
don't
stuff
want
like
the upgrade.
Destiny 2, where they're like, you buy the game for $60, right? Destiny 2, pretty popular game, pretty popular franchise, right? And they're like, 6 months or a year later, you can pay another $30 or $40 to get more content, and they're like,
why
this
didn't
is
you
stuff
just
that
make
was
this content
cut.
available?
Yeah, why didn't you
Like,
just give us your
what the
best work
hell?
up front?
Yeah.
Because a lot of it you can
They
tell
couldn't
stuff
wait.
that
They
was
couldn't
cut,
wait.
and then they make you buy it again later. You're
Have
like,
you guys been burned on that at a Kickstarter level?
Of having-
for me, if I see that there is something that is
I always
essential,
wonder how you can have an expansion before the game's actually been produced, and if so, why isn't it just part of the original game?
So there was something that had happened. So Tiny Epic Galaxies had the satellites and super weapons
Right.
expansion that should have just been included in the base game,
Okay.
and that's the only thing that I have been personally
Involved
was-
with, where you're like, oh man, they should have just come
Yeah.
with it.
And sure, I was in the Kickstarter anyway.
Yeah.
So like, it didn't really hurt me none.
Yeah.
But I would just, because you guys are more active in the Kickstarter
Yeah.
stuff, so I was just kind of thinking
Super backers.
Where yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like if they already have the game on Kickstarter and they're offering you expansions at another cost, those expansions should not be an extra cost. They should be already included in the game, because you obviously put this game forth as an entirety of it. Like, all this was already planned. They didn't make the game and then 2 years later go, oh, you know what would really add to this game if we
Right.
did this.
You knew from the get-go this is
already
something you
had
wanted to
yeah
add.
you already had everything. It's one game at that point to me.
This
you
one
know?
too is only like they said it's
The
only
whole-
like a $4 expansion, so it's not something that like you can't get. They're going to definitely produce it.
The whole
for
thing with an
stores.
expansion is that like it comes years later usually, and you're like, oh man, this is like new content to add to my game to make it cooler.
Well, because
you know,
expansion,
not oh man, this should be part of the game. I'm gonna put it directly into the game as soon as I get it, and never know what the original game is.
the mechanical purpose of an expansion has changed. It's changed from a refresher to more money.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sequels.
This is
They've
fun,
changed
yeah.
them into sequels. Like, oh, you like Deadpool? Here's Deadpool 2. It's a different movie.
Everybody loves Deadpool too.
But I mean, that could have been one movie, really, one super long movie. But like,
Wow.
I'm just saying,
Wow.
calm yourself.
You know what? I'd be all right with that.
Yeah. Me too.
Just super
It's
cut,
one super long,
super cut that into a
like
single movie.
5
movie.
hours. Deadpool.
There's so much of both of those movies that could just be removed.
a little bit. A little bit.
Well, if you're going to offer a game and then you're going to immediately offer the expansion on the Kickstarter, that's one game that you should have made with like some little
It's
things
more of
in
a
it. Like,
deterrent for me to want to buy it if I feel like
Absolutely.
they're scamming
So
you
are we
extra.
backing Rec Raiders or not?
okay, no, we're gonna do
this-
yay or nay. We're
Hold-
gonna do
hold
yay
on.
or nay.
Let me clarify something with this
Okay.
expansion. This is a $4 expansion that adds
It's a shark.
sharks.
It's a shark.
Yeah, either one shark
With
or
a
multiple
dice.
sharks.
One shark.
Yeah,
So it's
with a
not
dice.
an expansion that should have just been included. It's like one additional thing. It's really like an upgrade more than it is a deterrent for me.
I'd rather have just been charged the money up
expansions.
front. But, they want to create hype.
But this one is just like, we're going to add a shark. It's like a very small thing.
Okay.
Which is fine. It's like an add-on
Like a
versus an
variant.
expansion.
All right, Dr. GloryHoundd, yay or nay?
Yay.
Okay.
That was easy, right? Yay.
Andrew, yay or nay?
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
30 bones?
Yeah.
It's not bad.
I'm going to say yay because, like,
Excuse me, not bones, cartilage. 'Cause of the-
Shark.
for $30, it looks like an excellent game.
You went for the shark joke.
It looks visually stimulating. The mechanics look really interesting in it. And I mean, you can play with your kids, you can play it as adults. And it's at an amazing price,
You
really.
play with your
like
pets.
Rec Raiders
Play with
on
yourself. You can't
Kickstarter.
play
Check it
yourself,
out.
it's not solo.
We also have Dominations, Road to Civilization.
Yes.
Yeah, by Holy Grail Games. This is for people of 13 plus. It's for 2 to 4 players, and it lasts 60 to 120 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, what did you guys think about? Well, we should probably talk about this. Is a tile placing game, okay?
Which it's kind of domino related because that's what they kind of compare it to because
Triangle.
they're wedges,
Yeah.
right? They're
Yeah, I like
triangles.
them because they're triangles, and I know that sounds really stupid, but you have so many tile laying games,
Right, where they're just squares.
At least triangles
Show us
are
some new
something
shapes.
different, right?
Give
I
me
know.
a trapezoid or
Give me
two.
some stars
Give
up
me
in
a
there. I don't
dodecahedron
know,
tile placing.
right?
Yeah,
There you go.
Dodecahedron. Just one.
So you're doing tile placement, and the tile placement is going to give you points and resources, and then it looks like you go through a phase where you're going to be building buildings, and then that's going to give you resources and points, and your objectives are like to gain knowledge so you can build more things. It's very much like
it's got 6 different knowledge
civilization-y sort of. You're building up your
It's an
cities
empire
and stuff.
builder.
It is.
Right.
Yeah, you're building up your cities and stuff in this game.
So can I tell you how this game
No.
So from watching it and then watching multiple videos of it and seeing more gameplay,
Okay.
changed for me dramatically. At first, I was
Okay.
like, "This is like a 2-hour-ish game, right? This is your turkey dinner for Thanksgiving. If it's bad, your whole game night's bad. If everyone doesn't like it, your
Yeah.
whole game night's horrible." So there's a lot of expectations on this, right? And my thought was, well, why wouldn't I just play this on a computer? Why wouldn't I just play this in the medium
Okay.
that it's kind of built for, right? Which is a civilization thing. And I was kind of disappointed that Warfare wasn't one of the major knowledge tracks, right? Because that's
Okay.
Rome didn't win because of Colosseums; they won because of Warfare. A lot of it was their tactics. But after watching more on it and looking into it deeper and watching some gameplay of it, I actually started liking it more.
Did you?
Yeah, because it does seem like a game that it's going to have high expectations. Because if you're bringing this out for game night, it's going to be a big chunk of your game night. It's not a 30-minute game that if you're like, oh, you
No,
don't
it's
like
not.
it, and you're worried about
It's
it,
not.
you can't just have people jumping in the middle because it's a 2-hour-ish game.
Yeah.
You're going to be playing it for a while.
You have like 3 different ages with this game.
But yeah, I think it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, because
looks
I
good.
mean, I like the fact that the tile placement not only counts as points as you're placing the tiles, but it's going to give you a certain amount of resources, and that you have to match things up for
Right,
that.
because you'll get knowledge from placing the tiles, and then you have to spend that knowledge in order to build cities.
Yeah.
And build up, and then like when you build your wonders and stuff, multiple people can actually assist in that.
Yeah, and I was going to say that's
it
really
changes
cool
the
too,
tiles.
because it's not just like you against everybody. Like if you're building stuff up, there's certain things that you may want to cooperatively work towards.
It's more like Lords of Waterdeep, where you're not trying to kill the other players; you're just trying to have more influence than them. And how do you get that? And through
Yeah.
this, it's through knowledge.
Yeah.
So I agree. I think, and the aspect of where you place a tile and then where somebody else places the next tile, and then if someone's putting the last wedge in to kind of complete a circular, they're going to get all the bonus pips.
Yeah,
if you
that's
will,
huge.
Right, the little dots. So they're going to get more knowledge. It very much becomes a thing of like, well, I want
where do
this
I wanna put my
enough.
tiles?
Is
Yeah.
it worth it for then him to go ahead and place and get all of this? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Or would I rather wait and try to sneak in and get my own? Or when do I place? When do I not place? There's a lot of interaction with the other players.
So it's civ building, right?
Yeah, it's definitely
So-
civilization building.
So
Sure.
so how does the tech, is there a tech tree? Like how does...
There's 6. There's
Okay.
like a knowledge tree of 6, and you're trying to kind of increase all of them.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
So
right,
you can
to
build
decide
different
the
things and
route
build
you're
different
going.
buildings and stuff like that. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that it's super interactive with the other players. You're not just, it's not like your own tile you're working together. You're working off everybody else's pieces that they put down.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I like that. I like the interactiveness of having everybody build on the same board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it looks like it's actually going to be really good game. At first, I
It
was
does,
really
but
worried
if
about
you're
it.
just if you're just looking at the game though, it seems like
It could be
very
boring.
busy and boring. Yeah, looking
But
actually.
it actually seemed pretty easy because the way the pips work, right? So you've got your corners,
Mm-hmm.
you've got your triangle, and then each one of them has a different color. putting them together tells you how much knowledge you're going to get, and that's super easy to look at. You look at it and you go, okay, I've got a red, there's a yellow. I'm going to get 2 in the red, 1 in the yellow.
Right.
Super easy. But when you see the big board, you're like, oh my God, what is all this?
Yeah.
How easy?
Each individual piece, super
easy. This game is already funded on
easy.
Kickstarter, so if you want this game, you can just go ahead and back it, and it has about 14 days left. This game is also $52.
which I like.
$52.
Because that's like my borderline where I'm like, I really, really have to want it if it starts getting over 50. 50 or under, I'm like, okay, this seems like something I'm willing to risk.
And I believe that the that was with shipping and everything.
And I feel like this is a game that you're more likely to play. I like these games.
This is definitely right up my alley as far as games go.
I don't really enjoy are the ones that are very like artistic and
abstract.
Yeah, the abstract.
You don't
games.
like abstract.
I don't like
games.
abstract games as much.
You don't like Inch?
I don't know if I played that one. I don't think I have.
Haven't.
Yeah.
So I don't like abstract games as much because there's so much interpretation, and if you don't understand what your partner's thinking or the person you're playing with thinking, you're just like, I got nothing, and that can get frustrating sometimes. I like games where I actually get to do stuff, and I influence things myself with other interactions with other people.
Right.
Player agency.
So I feel like, yes. Nice. So I feel like this is a game, though, that you'd play a lot more because it's a longer game.
Okay, you know
what?
what?
I tend to lean towards hour and under games.
You know what this game reminds me of? It reminds me of
Bum, bum, bum.
an upgraded version of like Seven Wonders, because you have like 3 ages that you go through and you're building your civilizations and you're trying to get your buildings going.
Okay.
See,
but this is added like a player board aspect to it.
She doesn't like Seven
because
Wonders
I don't
of
like the card
drafting.
drafting of Seven Wonders.
you mean
which is
so
what-
you don't like Seven Wonders?
I don't like Seven Wonders, but
Which
this
I love the card drafting
I
of Seven
like
Wonders.
because it has
It's good.
Yeah, it's a good game.
because it has all
I
the
like it a
aspects.
lot.
No, well, it has all the aspects of that where you have the ages and you're going through and you're trying to build up your civilization, but you don't have. You did it again.
Twice. She cannot
But
keep
you
it together.
don't have card drafting, okay? And you
She
have
doesn't like other
something you
people
can
messing with her
control, which are
resources.
tiles and placement.
How do you feel about
It's
taxes?
completely.
Because you do not like
I-
people messing with your resources at all.
I don't necessarily like taxes, but it is
do you
very
feel about- how
rewarding
do you
getting
feel
them
about
done. I'm okay with that. That's fine.
Death
That's
and
cool.
taxes.
Well,
How do you feel about them as a
together, it's a
concept?
win.
You know,
Actually,
life is a resource, right? Your life is a resource, and dying is somebody else taking it from you.
So the game that this reminds me of is
Okay.
is Founders of Gloomhaven, which is another ties into the Gloomhaven board game.
Oh, really?
Where you are builders creating the city of Gloomhaven, or
Is
something,
this a
whatever.
new game?
It was on Kickstarter like 9 months ago, I think.
Huh. I missed
But
this
it's a tile placement combo sort of a deal where you are also doing very similar actions. It sounds like. So
Right.
when you were describing that, it just made
That
me
came
want.
into your
It
mind.
just
You're
made me
like,
want
"Oh, I
for
wanna play
Founders to
that. I
come
wanna
into
play
play.
This looks like a really good game, though.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it goes out over time, that there's tile placement.
Now,
that it's right up my alley as far as games go.
So the publisher is Holy Grail Games,
Right.
Yes.
which is different than Grail Games.
Yes.
Based
What did
out
I
of-
say? Did I not say
No,
Holy
you said
Grail?
Holy Grail, but
Okay,
for me,
okay. I was
I'm like,
what?
Didn't they just have?
You're like, oh my god, what happened?
Oh my!
Okay,
Didn't they
yeah.
just have a Roll and Write Boomerang by Scott Alms on Kickstarter? And it's like, no, totally different company.
Yeah,
so Holy
different
Grail
company.
Games also
Yeah.
has 4 projects backed. They're one that's gotten a lot of hype recently. I believe was Rising 5 because Tom Vassell reviewed it on the Dice Tower and he
Right.
enjoyed it quite a bit.
Right.
So
Seems like it's going to be good.
yeah,
So we want to do yay
Yeah.
or nay on this?
What do you got, yay or nay?
I want to go last.
Okay.
Okay. You got yay or nay?
I always do you first.
Oh, okay. I always finish first. I'm going to say yay
Just
for me.
disappointments all around.
Surprisingly.
Yay.
Surprisingly,
Surprisingly yay.
yay. Because
Okay.
normally I would say anything over an hour, I start really getting critical with it
Yeah.
because it's my whole night.
Okay.
I go to sleep early.
Andrew?
Oh, I said I wanted to go last.
You want to go absolutely last? Okay, just this one time, just for
Dead
you,
last.
okay? Just for you.
No, we're not. That's a different game.
Okay, so I'm gonna say yay on this. This is a game that is right up my alley.
Just right up her alley.
That's right. It's long
Wrong show.
gameplay, like has some sort of long strategic value with what you're playing and stuff like that. Like, and it's at a decent price, $52. Like, why not? Yay!
She
Yeah.
likes really long games that she can dominate people in.
Yeah, that's right.
Twilight Imperium is next.
I
good.
like people getting so much time into the game that their soul is crushed by the end of it.
She likes to betray
That's
you
what
on
I love.
hour 2.
Yeah, hour 2 at the very final task when you have to complete your win. That's when I like to strike and just end the game for everybody.
So I feel like she's going to wait till I'm 99.
The table will be flipped.
That's right. If you're not close to flipping a table, I'm not enjoying myself.
She's going to wait until I'm 99, and then she's going to strangle me the day before my birthday. She's like, "Oh, are you going to turn 100 tomorrow?" I'm like, "Yeah." I can't believe I made it. She's going to be like, "Joke."
Are you going to loop the victory point track of life?
That's right. No, not today, sir. Not today.
I'm out.
You're out.
I'm
no way,
out.
Jose.
And it's not because of the design aspect.
Okay.
It's because there's a Kickstarter exclusive expansion.
That's true.
This ties into the immediate previously conversation that we had about cutting stuff out of the game. Now, of course, I have not played this. I do not know much about this game other than what we have just covered and my cursory glance at the Kickstarter.
Yep.
But there's a Kickstarter exclusive, and it is an expansion, albeit it seems small, but the fact that there's a part of the game that is time-locked out from rest of the people means that there's going to be a number of people who get this after the fact.
That's very fair.
I'm not going to lie to you. I like that aspect of games, and I like going, I've got the promos for this game. Do you?
So here's the deal.
I have all the promos.
Promos for a game is fine.
Okay.
Expansions for a game is fine. It's locking them out as like, oh, this game is great. This whole thing over here, and then this thing is here.
All right.
Where can I get this entire thing?
Fair enough.
You can't.
It is fair.
I can
That's
understand
fair.
that because like Rising Sun, we backed everything but one thing, and now I'm kind of like,
you should have got it, right?
Yeah.
Right. You regret it after the fact.
You guys do.
We've done that with a few games.
For that reason,
you're gonna say no.
I'll play your copy.
I was gonna say, but would you not play our copy? That's the difference. Would you not play ours?
No, I'll still play it. To that note, I'll still play it.
Well, yeah, definitely.
He will still play our copy.
All right. We also have
very generous of you.
You guys gonna get burned on it? It's better than me. I'll throw my stuff toward more Frostgrave.
We also have Galactic Scoundrels by Little Rock Games. This is for ages 13 plus, 3 to 5 players, and it will last 90 to 120 minutes. That seems really long for this game.
Really long.
This seems really long for this game, but I think I might have a reason why this is.
It's a storytelling game
because it's a storytelling game.
So really, your turn could take a really long time or not, depending on how much you like to talk.
I really like how this game is very intricate in like the role-playing aspect of it, because the very first part of this game is like a bluffing sort of poker game to try to win the highest bid on the job that you're going to be doing. So you're basically like galactic mercenaries, and you're trying to find jobs. And you're trying to win them from other. Yeah, exactly. You're Han Solo, and you're trying to win jobs and like carry these jobs out, right? That's
Firefly.
True. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. I was gonna.
It's more Firefly-ish.
Well,
yeah.
So on that point, with it being a storytelling game where you have to bluff and you have to play poker hands, right? Yeah. That actually takes away from me, because then you're not really telling the story, because somebody else can stop your poker hand, right? They can beat you out.
Well, no, that's just the beginning. That's just the beginning portion of it. So first you play your poker hand because you're like in the bar and you're trying to collect your job and you're trying to win this bid, right? So play your poker hand. Those people that decide not to play, they don't get any bid on the job. Then if you get caught cheating, then some bad stuff happens. And then like if you win the bid, you can either keep it or you can sell it to another player. Okay, so you get the bid.
Contract.
Yeah, you win the contract. You can
contract.
Yeah, and you can always sell it to another player if you want at that point. And then after whoever has decided that they're going to be doing the contract, they put the people in their ship and stuff, and all their little aspects that they're going to need to carry on the mission. They roll the dice to see how long this mission is going to last. At that point, other players can start throwing down cards from their hand to influence what happens on your mission, and that's where the storytelling part goes into play. So you have this very thematic theme of like the poker hand having and bidding and everything, then you building up your crew, and then at the very end, okay, now we're going to do the storytelling portion where people are going to tell you what's happening during your mission. And this is where like more of like a take that card play comes into it, where the other people are trying to make your mission fail as you're going along, and you're trying to hopefully win. And as you're going, you can always get to a point where you are going to fail the mission, and then you can start asking your players for help. And at that point, I mean, the whole point of this game is like getting as much money as you can, so you can go ahead and pay people off to try to help you in this game.
I feel like that's where this game falls apart, though.
Really?
It's only going to be as good as
too chaotic?
No, it's only going to be as good as the players you're playing with. You get this in a new group or a non-talkative group, and the game's just going to feel flat and boring, and I don't know if the mechanics are good enough to make you want to play it without great storytellers in your group. And if you have really great storytellers in your group, why not do like a mini RPG instead?
That's true. This is a highly stylized game for
people. In the middle. It's a board game RPG but it doesn't. It's not heavy board game. It's not heavy RPG. It's 2 in the middle for me.
It sounds like there's a lot going on. It sounds like there's a mix between stuff and nonsense and
yes, because it's all funny too. It's all
it is.
Right.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a very funny game.
But I feel like there's a lot going on. Also, it seems like the game itself is crutching on the role-playing aspect because the card play itself might not be as tight as it should be.
And I think they'll interfere with each other.
Yeah.
I don't think that they work as well together as you would hope. And you have to like a storytelling game, and I don't. So I just don't like those types of games.
You like RPGs?
I do. I like storytelling games, though. I think this is.
I like dice, and I like rolling dice and doing attacks, and I like doing vampire and playing out the whole game without rolling any dice. I love that. I don't like board games that try to be storytelling games. I like RPGs to be RPGs.
Yeah, you've played Stuff and Nonsense, though, right?
I haven't played Stuff and Nonsense.
Okay.
I've played like Once Upon a Time and some other ones like that, and I just didn't enjoy them. I pretty much found the first excuse I could to leave the table.
Oh, really? So you
Okay.
didn't like
Yeah,
those
remember
ones
Once
in
Upon a
particular?
Time? I left immediately.
Yeah, but this is like almost a build off on that where it's so much
I
more
left-
thematic and there's more interesting things happening and it's not just like laying your cards down as fast as you can.
I
Like
left
this
to
actually has other
change-
stuff.
I left to change a diaper. That's how desperate I was to get out of that situation. I was like, I'll
It
change the
wasn't
diaper.
even dirty.
I gotta get out.
I was like, oh, kid's up, probably has a dirty diaper. I'll do this. I'll be back in 45
I got
minutes.
other things to do with this kid right now, so no. I really liked the thematicness and the silliness of it.
Because you're a sucker
and
for Han.
Also, it sounds to me like it sounds to me a little bit like Space Cowboy Munchkin.
It does,
Okay.
and that's kind of why I like
Right.
it.
But you know,
kind of why
my
I like
counter
it.
would be the way this game is set up. You should just play Firefly, the game, the card game, the
Which-
card/board game,
the brown-
board game.
The by Gale Force 9?
Yeah.
Those are not
That's-
comparable.
Yeah.
No, but it makes me want to play that game. I
Oh,
played
okay,
that
there you
game
go.
and I liked it, and
Yeah.
this
Gotcha.
makes me go.
Gotcha,
I'd just rather do that.
You'd rather do the big version.
Yeah.
Okay, I see that.
I mean, if I'm gonna play fake Firefly / Han Solo, wouldn't I just play a Star Wars
How
or
about this?
a Firefly game?
Have you
Han Solo.
played or heard of The Quiet Year?
No.
So The Quiet Year is
Seems like it wouldn't be compatible with me.
so
Quiet.
it's so it's a post-apocalyptic a role-playing storytelling card game.
Tell me what? Wait, storytelling? You had me at
Hold up.
apocalyptic.
Hold up. So you are rebuilding civilization out of a deck of 52 cards that
Okay.
all have their different things, right? It is print on demand, so you have to kind of dig to find it. But you're building the map of your town, and you're creating stories for these different characters and stuff.
Okay, that might be good.
It's a solo experience.
We talked about solo gaming on our Uninvited Gamers podcast. If you all want to listen to that.
Yes. But it sounds to me like that's kind of, I don't know, if I'm going to create a story with other people, I feel like having me create a story, like giving me the writing prompts, is going to make that a little bit more palatable.
Well, okay.
Because
hold
The
on.
Quiet Year has no mechanics in it whatsoever. You draw a card and you draw on a map.
I
That's
think
it.
if I'm going to make a story and then other people are like kind of adding things to it, it's just going to make me mad.
I
Be
think
like,
that
get out of my story.
So where does the divide lie between narrative board game and narrative role playing?
I think board game's going to be more mechanic heavy with light of the other one,
But
where it
how
stands on
should-
its own without
Okay,
the
so
narrative.
So
board game. You can
take-
play the board game without having the narrative, and it's still
fun.
okay.
Right.
So take take Twilight Imperium, for example. It's a very mechanically heavy game, but the narrative that you're building within the game, while not following the greater canon of the universe, there's still a narrative there.
Right.
Right.
So I'll give you an example. Deception in Hong Kong.
Yes,
We were playing
yes,
that
yes,
game
yes,
where
yes.
you're the murderer, right? And you pick the two different things. As the investigator, I got investigator like 3 or 4 times in a row. We were playing it with family over the weekend. You don't have to do a narrative in there. It doesn't even suggest
No, you
it.
don't- you don't
But
have
I
to.
always did.
Yeah.
So when people would pick out things, they would say like, electricity and underwear. I was like, first off, how did the murderer get the underwear on the other person, and how did they shock them to death with it? I made a story out of that, right?
Yeah.
But the game, without the narrative, works 100% fine. It's really enjoyable. Everyone likes it. But adding the narrative, which just made it a little bit more fun for me. So I like where you can add narrative, but you don't need it. This one, you need it.
I see. Okay.
I don't think
like
you
that.
need it. You don't need
It
it because
says
you throw.
specifically.
But you throw down the
But you
cards, and
do.
it's like
It
you're a
says
robot.
specifically that you need to narrative.
Yeah, but you're throwing out the cards.
But then it's
And
just
you could just
boring.
read the cards. Okay, these are robots. These are, I don't know what else they're in. Sand
Say we
dunes,
vote
something.
on it.
Well, we haven't even talked about the price point of this game.
Okay.
So the price point of this game, this is
$5
one thing.
million.
Okay, well, first off, this game is not funded yet. So, but it needs like $500 to fund or something.
Close.
It's probably gonna fund.
It's got 16 days to go, and it needs.
Well, it'll have 12 days by the time this airs.
Okay, so it'll have 12 days to go.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna fund.
How much does it need?
And 16 days out, it needs $230.
Okay, so it's definitely gonna fund because it was $500 this morning.
Yeah, like an hour ago.
It's $25 for the game, but here's the thing: they have a $40 and a $60 pack, and I think they even have a $70 pack. Where again, they're adding expansions to the game.
Ooh, that's a
Dun,
hard.
They're not Kickstarter exclusive.
They're not a Kickstarter.
So you're okay with that?
exclusive?
But see, I'm less okay with that because then I feel like it's cut content that are selling
Well,
me.
hold
as
on
an
though.
expansion.
Hold on though. But if you're looking to just try the game, it's $20.
Fair.
That's true. We're
Fair.
in a video game. no matter
Because
what, it's $60.
I immediately looked
You
at
can't try
the
it for
price
20.
of this game and I went, ugh, $40 for a card game. And I go, oh wait, $25? I could spend $25 on a silly card game. Like
You
I would
sure
do that
could.
at any game store.
Let me
Like
know when you find a group for that game.
oh.
I'll be changing diapers randomly. Your kid got a dirty diaper.
It's not
I'll
even.
change it.
It's not even your kid.
Not even my
It's
kid.
like
It's
that
just-
child
you
on
know
the
what?
street.
You
needs
look like
their
you need your diaper changed.
Visiting grandma. You need your diaper changed.
90 to 120
Just
minutes
kids,
though
it's not-
seems a little long.
If it's
If
going
you
to
have a bunch of
crutch-
people,
if it's going to crutch on the storytelling aspect, that makes sense.
It could be a lot shorter if your story
I think
is
it
like,
sounds-
hey, we picked up a robot, we delivered the robot, yay team.
We did.
I
Your
think if
turn.
I had to play this or like One Night Werewolf or something like that, I would rather play this.
100% different game though. One Night
Absolutely
Werewolf
not.
is a party.
Well, I'm saying because
Yes.
both of them are party games. This is a party
narrative
game.
storytelling is not a party game. It's
No.
a
It
game where
is,
you
it
want to play an
is.
RPG, but you don't want
It's
to make
it's a narrative.
multi-month commitment to play an RPG.
It's a
like a
funny party game.
No, this is a
It's a funny
one-shot-
party game.
I would argue this is a one-shot D&D
No,
encounter
no,
versus
no.
a one-night encounter
It's
at
a
a
funny
con.
party
No,
game.
no.
It's not a party game.
Hound, no. You're
No,
totally off base on
what?
this.
You don't
Absolutely.
play narrative story games as a party like, wee,
Why
that was so much
not?
fun."
People love narrative games.
Yeah, but
Name
you don't like
someone
to
who does.
show up.
When what?
You don't like to just show up to game night and it's like, oh, we're going to tell stories for forever. It's like, no, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to show up to my RPG night and play my RPG.
Okay, so if your RPG night doesn't fire off because there's not enough players, then
I'm
you
playing-
play.
I'm playing
You
video
A
play
board
Galactic
game.
Scoundrels.
I'm playing video games.
Yeah.
Ah,
No, I'm not playing this. I'd be playing stuff like Reef or other party-ish type games. I'm not playing this. Nope.
I think that this is
Hey, did our RPG not fire off? Let's play a 2-hour like story game instead of playing the thing we
you're
want to
playing-
play.
All right. That's it. Let's vote. Let's
We're
vote
playing
this.
Scythe.
I'm
All right.
out.
All right.
Sky.
Yeah,
Scythe,
Scythe.
right?
It's Scythe.
It's Scythe.
Scythe.
It's from the horse's
Scythe.
mouth. It's Scythe.
Oh my God.
Scythe.
It's Scythe.
Am I right then? Did I
Yeah.
do it right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did it right for once. Good job.
What?
All right. So we have a nay over there.
No.
Nay. What about you?
Nay.
But here's the thing. My no isn't necessarily because of the mix and combos of the narrative and the
Your nay
gameplay.
is just a different nay.
It's because I'm a
Nay
horse.
of a different name. Right, you're a horse, I'm a unicorn.
It's a strict card game, and I have no interest for games that are strictly cards anymore, ever,
Okay.
at all. Period.
Okay.
Unless it's Magic the Gathering, the Holy Grail.
Or the mind.
Even then,
The Mind was good.
the mind is not a game; it's an activity.
Oh, now it's,
That's a whole different
it's
debate.
strictly a card
We'll talk
game.
about that later.
Okay.
But the mind is not a game.
Yikes.
All right, Dr. GloryHoundd, you said nay.
Nay, I'm not a big fan of storytellers as it is, and this is not enough to make me want to start playing them.
For
I didn't
twen-
know hogs nay.
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 Nay. So for me, $25 to spend. For me, $25 to spend on a card game that is a storytelling game that has a little bit of a take that feature to it, and it seems kind of silly, and it's in a genre I really like, which is like that space cowboys or that
She
space
doesn't
galactic.
like cowboys. She likes space.
Well, I do like space.
Before
so.
you solidify that, have
Okay.
you heard of the game Grimslingers?
No.
Grimslingers is a Firefly-esque, but a little bit more feature, like with robots and stuff, and
Okay.
dinosaurs and like
Yes.
Robo.
Tell me
whatever.
more.
That is also a narrative game that
Okay.
also has a campaign that also has solo, multiplayer, co-op, competitive modes. But it's
Sounds interesting.
narrative.
Let me say before
And
you
it's
say
terrible.
Why can't I even just say what I want to
before
say?
you say yes
No,
or no, just know this: I'm going to change the password on Kickstarter. So go ahead, decide.
I'm going to give it a yay.
I don't think horses do. Do horses do that?
No. It's no's only. Horses are very negative.
Absolutely.
Have you ever seen a happy horse?
No.
Nope. They hate you, and they hate people riding on them.
Whatever.
They don't even like apples.
I'll play this game by myself with other people that like tell stories.
They don't even like
If
sugar
you play it
cubes.
by yourself, you're not playing with other people. Fundamentally.
It's fine. It's fine. We're going to do honorable mentions, but very angrily, friends. Okay? Where can we find you?
You can listen to Game State Show at rainmandigitalmedia.com. You can follow Game State at Game State Show on Twitter, on Instagram, and then we do live shows every other Saturday or so, and you can follow those at Game State Show. No, God. Ugh. Sorry. We've gone over a lot of stuff today. What am I talking about?
At Game State Show.
Oh, yeah,
on
our live
yeah,
shows.
Yeah. Live shows.
Every other Saturday or so, rainmandigitalmedia.com. Or after the fact, you can find us at Stitcher, iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts.
That's right.
You can find me on Pokemon Go, Destiny 2, Magic the Gathering Arena.
That's true.
Magic the Gathering in person.
That's right.
Are
you Dr. GloryHoundd?
I'm either Dr. GloryHoundd or GloryHoundd with 2 G's and everything. There's always 2 G's though. It's Dr. GloryHoundd, so GG at the end.
Yeah.
Because good game suckers.
And make sure to give us a thumbs up on this video and give us some comments and stuff like that. We like hearing feedback. As long as it's good. If you give me negative feedback, then I'm just going to cry at night.
We will delete your negative feedback.
All right. Is there anything else from the table?
Once again, I can be bought. This patch is removable.
All right.
So Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, somebody. I will drink your product on camera.
All right, and you guys have a good night.
Where is my Dr. Pepper?
It's right there. I kicked it over.
I'm going to...
On camera. So refreshing.
Well, see, now they don't have to pay